What's up? If you're new here, my name is Josh. If you hear a little background noise, that's just my brother screaming. He's on the game. Don't even worry about that. But I think we all know the verse that says, love your neighbor as yourself. You know, that is a law given to us, right? But what if that person hasn't loved themselves first? How can they love their neighbor as themselves? Well, some people might say, oh, um, that just means loving Jesus. And, yeah. Well, there's some truth to that, yes. But also, if you're not content with yourself first, how can you know how to love someone else? When it says neighbor, it doesn't just mean your actual neighbor. It means anybody. Love everybody. But if we want to go specifically, let's say down the route of relationships. If you don't know how to love yourself, how can you love someone else as yourself? It's an actual question because some people look at this verse and they're like, yeah, yes. But then they don't follow it themselves. And I'm talking about myself as well. And it sucks that I realized this. Actually, it doesn't suck because, God made me realize it when I needed to realize it. So it doesn't suck. But whenever it says that, you're just thinking, oh yeah, I just like myself. Like, okay, I'm Josh. Like no, that is not what that means. It just means if you have to know how to love yourself first, because you have to love your neighbor as yourself, as you do yourself. And if you don't spend time with yourself, with God, there's a lot of people who have a godly relationship through other people. And also, they never had their own relationship with God before getting with someone else. Let's say in a relationship, like I said earlier. They never have their own time alone with God before they get into one. So then now they're living it out through them, through that person. And that just does not work, because until you can show God that, okay, I can do this with you alone. If you can't live with God alone, then you can't live with someone else. Because you're going to be thinking that God is in the way. Instead, he's trying to help you, man. He's trying to help you. But, yeah. I struggled with that. I didn't know what that meant. And, if I didn't know how to love myself, how can I even bring it on to another person? How could I do that? Because you have to learn to love yourself to then be able to love someone else. Because then if you don't love yourself first, you are going to be struggling with a lot of things down the line. It's going to come back and bite you later on. You'll be like, oh, well, dang, I never had time for this. I realize this now, that I never had time to that and that. You're not only doing yourself dirty, but you're doing that other person dirty by doing that. Because he is this amazing person who you're with, and all of a sudden, because you didn't want to take that time beforehand, instead you rushed into something, and then now you guys have to separate or something like that, just for you to be able to find that part of yourself, right? All these things that you feel like you're missing because you never got time alone with God. So you then end up hurting another person because of it, because you don't know how to love them properly, right? That's what it's about, loving another person properly. You can't do it without knowing how to love yourself properly. Treat yourself with the word. Treat yourself with God. If you can't do that, then you can't love someone else properly. You can love someone else, of course. You can't love them properly, meaning the actions behind it, the promises you have to keep, the things you do for them. Because it's not just a feeling, it's about action, action, and action. Like, time and time again, the Bible shows us God having action behind what he says. And that's how he shows his love, by showing us. Yes, like, he shows his love by showing us that he loves us, not by just saying it through words. Oh, the Lord our God loves us all. Like, no, it doesn't. He shows us that he loves us. That's how he does it. And so then we have to follow that example and do the same. Show them that we can love those neighbors. It doesn't have to do only with the relationships. I'm talking about anybody. Your mother, your father, your sibling, literally anybody. But if you don't learn that yourself, you cannot apply that to another person, because it says love your neighbor as yourself. And if you haven't completed the as yourself part, you can't love your neighbor properly. That's pretty much it for this video. I just feel like that's something that had to be put out there, because a lot of people don't see that verse like that. I noticed, and I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, looking as I'm reading it, I'm like, but wait, how can you love someone as yourself if you don't know how to love yourself first? Because you have to do it as you love yourself. So that second part needs to be actually first, right? Because you're leading the example of loving yourself onto another person. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully. Take that time to yourself. Don't rush anything, because when you rush, man, it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you rush. But when you take your time, let God do his thing. Let him mature you. Let him work through you. And allow things to just happen. Don't look for the next option. Oh, yes, right there. Oh, no. Patience. Patience. It's like when you rush food. I seen an example of that the other day. It's like when you rush food. When you rush it, it doesn't come out as good as if you would have actually took your time to cook it, right? So work on yourself first, so that you can be able to love someone else properly. God loves you. I love you. Have a great night. Sorry it's so late, but I'll get to that video. Peace.